Good morning, and welcome to your webinar. My name is David Risen, and Bill Mead and I own OMECorp-Genesis. We are joined, as always, by Andy, your host.
Glad to have you back for the very important OMECorp-Genesis Unveils Next Generation Mail Processing. I understand you have something very special in store for us today?
Yes, sir. For the last 40 years, we've helped thousands of customers just like you, today's viewers. However, in the last decade, we've strived to become a more well-rounded provider of business solutions by adding to our shipping and mailroom systems. We have added copiers and multifunction printers, or MFPs, and we now have a national presence in the data quality and enrichment space. As technology evolves, so does OMECorp-Genesis.
If this is your first webinar with us, in the past we've covered business-critical subjects ranging from postage and shipping rate hikes to document management and storage, as well as electronic distribution and the very crucial topic of data quality. Today, we are going to be more specific than we ever have by identifying a billion-dollar problem that the U.S. Post Office is facing right now, how it affects and costs your business today, and how OMECorp-Genesis can solve it for you forever. Our focus today will be undeliverable as addressed, or UAA mail. I'm going to let David take it from here.
Let's begin with what the U.S. Post Office says about this problem. In 2014, the Office of Inspector General released a report, July 14, 2014, report number MSAR 14-006, explaining these issues and changes that the Post Office has made and will undergo in solving this $1.5 billion problem.
Page 1 of this report reads, the U.S. Postal Service processed more than 158 billion mail pieces in fiscal year 2013. Of those, it identified almost 6.8 billion pieces as undeliverable as addressed, UAA, mail that could not be delivered to the address on the mail piece. Causes for UAA mail include individuals or businesses moving, illegible addresses, and more. Depending on the mail class, UAA mail is either forwarded, returned to sender, or treated as waste. As you can see, in fiscal year 2013, the U.S. Postal Service spent $1.5 billion to process undeliverable as addressed mail, broken down as $244 million in forwarded mail, $769 million in returned mail, $258 million in waste, and $202 million for administrative costs. The Return to Sender program the USPS provides as a free service for all first-class mail is the largest expense to the post office for UAA mail. Return to Sender is more than double the expense of any other area of concern for them. Return to Sender also represents the largest number of mail pieces that the USPS has an issue with each year. Here's another view of that same information. As you can see, the numbers are staggering. Even more unimaginable are the lengths that the post office are willing to go to correct its exposure to the return to sender expense.
We all expect and believe that when you mail a piece of mail with USPS, it'll be delivered. And for 150 plus billion pieces a year, that's true. But it's also true that more than 2 million addresses are added every year. More than 44 million Americans move every year. Over 80% of UAA mail for first-class mail is due to old customer addresses or illegible address information, which is the number one cause of UAA mail. Secondary address failures are roughly 31% of the 80% return mail rate for missing information, like an apartment or suite number. Other reasons include the addressee is unknown, deceased, or incarcerated. The addressee refuses or fails to claim the mail. The organization failed to update their database, or the postage has not been properly calculated or applied to the mail piece. The first question we will answer today is, why is this important to you and your organization? Simple answer, because your mail is important. I would argue that it is critical. What isn't automatically realized by the majority of mailers is that behind nearly every piece of mail is a financial transaction, either incoming or outgoing, or generating one or the other. Let's look at some of your common mail pieces to find the financial impact to your company. Invoices equals receivables. Statements equals receivables. Checks equals payables. Marketing pieces equals receivables. Payroll equals payables. NSFs equals receivables. 1099s, EOBs, EOPs, tax notices, contracts, water, electric, gas billing are all important and financial in nature.
In other words, somebody's getting paid.
Exactly. And I'm sure you recognize many of these examples in your own organization, and you can see why we classify your USPS mail as business critical mail. Every single piece of mail referenced here is sent with one common expectation: that it is delivered and in a timely manner to achieve quickest results. If any one of these mail pieces is not delivered or is slow in delivery, it will have a negative impact on either the cash flow of your company or the customer you're sending to.
Allow us to take a different approach and look at the impact to your organization to help you see what I'm talking about and why you should listen closely for the next few minutes. These are a few real-world questions that you should ask yourself. How is my business impacted when an invoice is more than 10 days late to be delivered? What happens when your payment is more than 10 days late to your vendors? What happens if 25% of your marketing pieces you send out never get delivered and are trashed by the post office? What is the impact to your company if any mail piece is delayed or never delivered? Keep these questions in mind as we explain the changes the U.S. Post Office is making and how these questions could now be more important to you than ever before. The Post Office is currently making internal changes to reduce their exposure to the $1.5 billion UAA mail problem. So, what is the USPS going to do to fix this issue? Well, the answer might surprise you. The Inspector General's report clearly states that the Post Office plans to implement the following strategies. The Post Office has taken action to reduce and recover UAA mail costs by testing whether business mailers update their mailing lists regularly and assessing surcharges for mailers failing an address accuracy threshold of 70%. This is called the Move Update Standard. There are plans to consolidate Postal Automated Redirection System, PARS, and Computerized Forwarding System, CFS facilities. The USPS plans to introduce a new secure destruction program so UAA mail can be destroyed at a facility rather than returned. There is no arguing there will be a negative impact to your company's business-critical mail as these changes go into effect. But you're still listening, so there's hope. And now you're wondering what can be done to keep this from impacting your company. There is an answer, and it's a good one. It is one that should have been provided to you since the Pony Express days, but now through technology and the needs of you, the customer, it's available. OMECorp-Genesis and Neopost have partnered together to provide mailing machines that now come with address cleansing and verification software. Until now, you have never been presented with this option. You will now have the ability to verify the address that your business-critical mail and packages are going to prior to sending it. You will have access to all the same information and programs that the post office uses to sort and deliver mail to the end recipient. You will be able to clean your address lists and databases for your entire company using address data quality features such as CAS, DPV, LaxLink, and SweetLink, NCOA, ECOA, apartment number append, suppression suite, do not mail, deceased, incarcerated, geocode, RDI processing, dedupe, and merge purge. Our Infuse software and Neopost mailing systems can eliminate the majority of these issues for you and your company. At the same time, we can reduce costs, increase value and benefits, and we can eliminate many of the potential frustrations.
You may be thinking to yourself that your company's contact data quality is fine. And I'm sorry to say to you, this belief is based on a head-in-the-sand philosophy. If I can't see it, it can't hurt me. Well, it will hurt you and your company in many ways if you do nothing. Let me ask you one simple question. If your mail goes from a standard 8-day return to a 13 or even 30 days to return, does that affect your company? Remember, you don't know that your mail is being returned. You only know it's out there in limbo. And it's only when your customer calls, or you call to ask why you've not seen a response from the recipient, or when the mail piece shows back up at your doorstep as undeliverable, will it be known that this mail piece is not delivered, and now you need to scramble to get it delivered.
I know right now that you are receiving envelopes back from the post office with these markings on them. If you're not the one who sees the return mail, then someone else in your organization is. The important questions you need answered for every undeliverable as addressed mail piece are: what is inside every envelope that is returned? How important is that communication? What caused it to be returned? But you're not a postal expert, are you? At OMECorp-Genesis, we are.
I would like to request something from you. I would like you to allow us 20 minutes of your time at no charge to evaluate 5 areas in your business. Number 1, return mail. Here's what we're asking. Who receives the return mail from the post office? What's being returned? And how long does it take to be returned? Number 2, current contact address quality. We can run a sample of your database to determine the number of bad addresses and how to correct that issue moving forward. Number 3, mailing system compliance. Verification of the mailing system with all current USPS regulations and compliances. Number 4, application review for cost and efficiency, determining that each application processed through your mailing machine is sent for the lowest cost available by the post office. Lastly, number 5, contract review and explanation. the evaluation of your current contract commitment and opportunities for cost reduction and improvement. It will be the most beneficial time you spend with a vendor partner this year. I would request that you allow us the opportunity to show you why we are the best mailing and shipping, as well as copying and printing equipment company in Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas, and Arkansas. We've been providing solutions for customers for more than 40 years, and it's time that we show you why we've had the longevity by helping you right now when you need us the most.
Wow, David, that was incredible. I learned so much today. I had no idea that the post office is willing to go to such drastic measures with my important mail just to decrease their costs. It sounds to me like you can help most companies get a handle on this quickly.
Yes, hopefully companies will respond prior to the post office implementing these internal systems. It's always a pleasure to share information with our audience. If you'd like more information, you can always contact us at 1-800-520-7755 or emailing us at info@omecorp.com. If there are topics you'd like to see in the future, or if you have any feedback, feel free to email the webmaster at glc@omecorp.com. Once again, thank you for your time, and please give us a chance to help you and your organization. Hey Andy.
Yes, David?
Did you know the Pony Express service opened officially in April 3rd, 1860, when the riders left simultaneously from St. Joseph, Missouri and Sacramento, California? The first westbound trip was made in 9 days and 23 hours, and the eastbound journey in 11 days and 12 hours. The Pony Riders covered 250